So as you think about how you all have kind of built that first one and then had moved on into the second one, and you've done a lot of this with like, as you're saying, you're creating your lists and your checklists and your SOPs. When you're starting to bring on people, right? How is that like? How is your background influencing the way you all hire people, the way you onboard them, the way you kind of treat them in the role? Because in some cases you can say, well, I just need somebody who's going to keep the place clean and like be mostly present. But I
Yeah.
think that you probably have a different approach.
I do. And one thing that I think is the most important for me, when I do find, like, getting through the hiring process and I have somebody on board, one of the things that is most important is having my staff's back and like supporting them. We have generally really great customers, but every once in a while you get the customer that wants to give you a hard time. And so I have very explicitly told my staff, like, I will have your back. If anyone's disrespectful or rude, I will not hesitate to fire a customer if they're being
Mm,
disrespectful to you. And that's a hard line that I draw as a leader, as a manager, because I want my staff to feel respected and then in turn respect my business and take care of my customers, because again, most of my customers are really great, but if you have the one or two that's treating you poorly, I don't want to put up with that. But in terms of hiring staff and getting them onboarded, it is like I want to make sure I'm selecting somebody that's a good fit and that's ultimately going to be representing my brand. Because, like I said, this is an
hmm
extension of us. When we first started, we were there every day. And then we would talk to customers and they would say, oh, you're the owner? Like, actually, I had a customer just last week. I was at the store, I was like stocking the soap machine. And the customer, she was using our biggest machines, our 60-pound washers. And in our Wilkes-Barre location, we're hybrid. So we have the app and we have quarters. And so she's loading her quarters and she keeps loading them. And I said, hey, you should really consider downloading the app if you're going to use those larger machines. It's probably easier for you.
Yeah.
And she said something like, oh, I don't want them to know my location. And I said, well, I'm the owner and I don't really care where you are, just that you could do your laundry. And she said, oh, you're the owner? And she was like, so it was such a cute interaction. She was like, wow, what are the chances? And I said, well, actually pretty high. I'm here a lot. It was so cute. It was such a sweet interaction. I still make it a point. My husband still makes it a point. We go in, we talk to people. If we're stocking the vending machine and something's expired, we give them out to everybody. We try to give drinks to people.
hmm
We help them with their wash, or, my husband works on a machine and he's like, hey, he sees a customer coming in. He's like, can you do me a favor? I'm going to give you a free wash. Will you test this washer for me? And,
Uh-huh.
we do these things to take care of the customers. And so I want that in an extension of my employees. Like, I want them to take care of my customers. I want you to see that they're coming in with that big heavy bag and open the door for them. I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm sweeping. I run to the other side. My daughter knows to
Yeah.
open the door. Like, we make that a point to make that experience, like you said, like, not everybody loves being there, but we want to make that as pleasant as possible for them.
Well, what I love about everything that you're saying here, Kate, is that it's really all about what you're building is culture, right?
Yes.
And it's that culture piece. Too often we get stuck on like, okay, here's our brand, and this is what we want the experience to be like, and we're gonna push that out to our customer base and say this is what we are and this is what we stand for. But the things underneath, and when you peel back the curtains, those don't line up, and so then you have this brand disconnect that really, like, once that becomes obvious to people, it will crush you.
Yes.
And so from a foundational perspective, if you don't build the culture right from the beginning and have it built at all points, right? So you got to build it with your employees. You got to make sure that the brand you want to be carries through those employees. That's the only way you're ever going to get to a point where you don't have to be at the stores 40 hours a week, so that you don't have to just give yourself another job, right?
Right.
You build a business by building a culture that can carry on beyond you.
Right. And it's important, like in leadership, like my husband's in management, I'm in management. Like, I don't want an employee that I have to stand over. Did you do this? Did you check
Right,
that?
right.
This needs to be done. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not how I manage. I want to be able to put trust in my employees and know that they can carry out the tasks and things, and know what's important to me. Like, so when I go there and I say, well, that's a pet peeve, and then I end up saying that about six different things because I really want it to be clean. Because it's like, oh, there's a cobweb
Yeah.
there, get that out of there. Oh,
Yeah.
the glass has a fingerprint on it, get that off of there. The soap tray looks like there's soap in it. We can't possibly have that in a laundromat. Like, they know that about me, and they know that about my husband. And so, like, that's what makes a good leader, though, right? Like, if I just handed you a checklist and just left you off and then never gave you feedback or never expressed to you how important it is for the brand or expressed to you how important it is to take care of my customers, how are you going to be successful? You know, like you said, like, I try not to find somebody that's just like, I just need to be here just to make money. Like, yes,
Yeah.
obviously that's why they're there, and I understand that, but like, I want them to truly like enjoy coming in, you know, like I want them to like that. And we try to take care of the employees as best as we can. We give them like laundry depending on what store they're in. We either load their app or we load their
Yeah.
laundry card for them so that they can do their laundry. I found that the best employees are customers, former customers, or still customers. They still come.
Yeah.
My current
Yeah.
one of my employees now, I swear she comes in more on her days off than she does when she's working. Comes in and does all her laundry, and then she comes in with friends to do laundry. Like, she enjoys it, I think.
That's funny. Well, that's how you know though that you're building something that's making a difference, right? I mean, you've got a place that a customer turned employee loves to be and loves to be there and loves to help make sure that others are experiencing that same thing.
Don't they have the buy-in, right? And like I
Yeah.
said about the brooms and stuff, these are the people that were like, I wasn't even paying them, and they would come in and they would see that the floor was dirty, and they take the initiative to take care of that floor because they wanted it to look clean. They wanted to be in a clean space, and they wanted to help us out. So at some point we were like, can we pay you for that? Why
Yeah.
don't you why don't you
Yeah.
come on board with us?